Hi, Clarky. Let's read my first book of planets together. You live on a planet named Earth. Earth goes around the sun, and the path it takes is called an orbit. Earth is part of the solar system. The solar system has the sun in the middle and lots of big things that go around the sun. Planets are big, ball-shaped objects that move around the sun. Our solar system has 8 planets. The 4 planets closest to the sun have rocks and ground you could stand on. Those planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The 4 planets farthest from the sun are much bigger and called giant planets. They are mostly made of gas, like what fills a balloon, so you couldn't stand on them. Those planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The sun is a star. A star is a huge ball of hot, glowing gas. There are many stars. You can see some in the night sky. Stars are much hotter than fire. The sun is our star, and it is very special. It is the only star close enough to keep us warm and give us lots of light. The sun is gigantic. 1 million Earths could fit inside the sun. The size of Earth compared to the sun is like the size of a mouse compared to an elephant. The distance from the Earth to the sun is about 100 million kilometers, or 93 million miles. That's really far. In this book, we will say how far other planets are from the sun by using the distance between Earth and the sun. Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun and the smallest. It is a rocky planet and mostly gray in color. Mercury has almost no atmosphere, the gas that can surround a planet. An atmosphere lets people, animals, and plants breathe, but there is nothing to breathe on Mercury. In the daytime, the ground on Mercury is hotter than an oven. At nighttime, it is much colder than a freezer. Sometimes you can see Mercury in our night sky. It looks like a bright star. Venus is the second planet from the sun. It is a little smaller than Earth. It has a solid rocky surface. Venus spins the opposite way compared to Earth. Venus has an atmosphere that keeps it warm like a blanket. The ground is very hot. It stays hot all day and night. Venus has lots of clouds. If you stood on Venus, you would not be able to see the sun because of the clouds. Sometimes you can see Venus in our night sky. It looks like the brightest star in the sky. We know this one, Earth. Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. It is our planet and our home. We live on the biggest of the 4 rocky planets. For Earth, 1 orbit around the sun takes 1 year. How old are you? That is how many times you have traveled around the sun. Aunt Mimi's traveled around 42 times. Earth is special. It is the only place we know of that has life. Life on Earth includes plants and animals. Life on Earth includes you. You need to drink water. All living things need water. Earth is the only place in the solar system with water ready for you to drink. That makes Earth perfect for life. The moon. A moon is an object in space that goes around a bigger object, like a planet. Some planets have many moons and some have none. Earth has 1 moon and we call it the moon. The moon travels around Earth. It also travels with us around the sun. You can see the moon at night. Sometimes you can see it in the daytime. From Earth, we always see the same side of the moon. Sometimes we see all of it lit up by sunlight. That is called a full moon. Other times we see part of the moon lit up and part of it dark. The lit part is in daytime on the moon and the dark part is in nighttime on the moon. People have walked on only 2 places in our solar system, Earth and the moon. Mars is the 4th planet from the sun. It is called a red planet. Red rocks and dust cover its surface. A long time ago, there were seas and flowing water on Mars. Now it has some ice, but no liquid water you could drink at its surface. Mars is much colder than Earth. Mars looks like a desert on Earth. It has mountains, canyons, sand dunes, and plains. Lots of robot spacecraft are studying Mars. Spacecraft are vehicles that can travel outside of Earth. Some are in orbit around Mars. Others look weird, small cars and drive on the surface. The asteroid belt. An asteroid is a small object in space made of rock or metal. Well, it is small compared to a planet. It is big compared to you and me. The asteroid belt has millions of asteroids orbiting the sun. That's a lot of asteroids. Even so, the asteroid belt is so big that most of it is empty space. If you could put all the asteroids together in a ball, the ball would still be smaller than Earth's moon. Ceres, never heard of it, is the biggest asteroid in the asteroid belt, but it is much smaller than the moon or the planets. 2,500 Ceres could fit inside Earth. It is also a dwarf planet. A dwarf planet is like a small planet. Planets can't have other similar sized objects near their orbits, but dwarf planets can. Ceres has other asteroids in its orbit. We'll talk about other dwarf planets later. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun. It is the biggest planet in our solar system. All the other planets could fit inside it. Jupiter is one of the 4 giant planets. It is made mostly of gas. Jupiter looks colorful and striped. Those stripes are actually clouds and huge storms. The Great Red Spot is the biggest storm. It is like a giant hurricane that has lasted for hundreds of years. Jupiter has 4 big moons and lots of small moons. Jupiter's moon, Ganymede, is the largest moon in the solar system. It is bigger than Mercury. Jupiter and its moons are very cold. As we go farther from the sun, it gets even colder. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. It is made mostly of gas. Saturn has beautiful rings around it. What are the rings made of? Dirty snowballs. Some are as small as a snowflake, and some are as big as a school bus. Saturn's moon, Titan, is the 2nd largest moon in the solar system. It is bigger than the planet Mercury. In the night sky, Saturn looks like a bright yellow star. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun. It is a giant planet with lots of gas. You could not stand on Uranus. Uranus is blue. It is tilted on its side compared to the other planets. Uranus has a set of 13 mostly dark rings. They are hard to see, unlike Saturn's rings. Each season on Uranus lasts 21 Earth years. Can you imagine 21 years of winter? If you are somewhere very, very dark, you might be able to see Uranus in the night sky with just your eyes. Okay. Neptune is the 8th planet from the sun. It is a giant planet with lots of gas. Neptune is like Uranus in many ways. Neptune is just a little smaller than Uranus. Neptune and Uranus are also both giant planets that are blue. Neptune has a few rings, but they are very hard to see. Neptune is a windy planet. It has the fastest winds on any planet in the solar system. Neptune has 14 moons, but they are all very small except for Triton. Triton is covered in strange ices. To see Neptune, you have to use a telescope. Neptune is too far to see with just your eyes. There are objects beyond Neptune that also go around the sun. 4 of them are dwarf planets. They are named Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. There are also many things smaller than dwarf planets beyond Neptune. They are hard to find because they are so far away. But astronomers are looking and finding more things. Astronomers are people who study everything outside of Earth, like planets and stars. Pluto is a dwarf planet that is usually farther from the sun than Neptune. It is reddish. It is also very cold and covered in ice. It has little atmosphere. In other words, it has a little gas surrounding it. Pluto has 5 moons. Charon is the largest. It's about half as wide as Pluto. Pluto used to be called a planet, but then astronomers found other objects the same size as Pluto, so they made up a new name, dwarf planet. Pluto and Eris are the largest known dwarf planets. The dwarf planets Haumea, Makemake, and Eris are all far beyond Neptune and even Pluto. They are very far from the sun, so they are extremely cold and covered in ice. They all have moons. Haumea is weird. It spins very fast and is shaped kind of like a football. Makemake is smaller than Eris and Haumea. It is reddish like Pluto. Eris is just a little smaller than Pluto, but Eris weighs more, so Eris probably has more rock and less ice than Pluto. Scientists expect to discover more dwarf planets by using big telescopes. Planets and you. This is just the beginning. You can learn much more about planets and other exciting things in space. What would you like to learn more about? Scientists also have a lot more to learn. Using spacecraft and big telescopes, scientists are studying the planets and learning more every day. Would you like to study planets when you grow up? Keep learning and having fun with planets.